Taylor Swift sent fans wild on Friday as she released the music video for her new single, Anti-Hero, after releasing her 10th studio album Midnights just hours before. The track, which is the third on the album, sees the hitmaker admit she's never delved this far into my insecurities, adding, "It's me, am the problem" in the deep-thinking song, describing the video as a look into her nightmare scenarios and intrusive thoughts. In the 5-minute-long video, the 32-year-old singer doesn't hold back exploring the themes of self-hatred, depicting herself as two separate entities, one who she sees as her own worst enemy and one that is too afraid to let loose and have fun. The video sees her fending off ghosts, being shot through the heart with an arrow, referencing her eating disorder battle, mental health struggles and even attending her own funeral. Posting the video news to Twitter, Taylor shared, "The Anti-Hero video is here, which I wrote and directed. Watch my nightmare scenarios and intrusive thoughts play out in real time." In one scene, Taylor addresses the backlash surrounding her decision to break her years-long political silence in 2019 when she slammed autocrat President Trump and said Americans are being gaslighted. The subtle yet thinly veiled reference came in the form of her placing a pin on her shirt during the video, reading "Vote for me." She previously said of Trump's 2016 election victory, "All the dirtiest tricks in the book were used and it worked," adding that the atmosphere in America is gaslighting the American public into being like, "If you hate the president, you hate America." While she was praised by some fans for voicing her political views, it also saw her criticized for wading into politics, with critics claiming she was influencing the votes of her fans. She discusses her battle with depression in the video, singing, "Midnights become my afternoons, when my depression works the graveyard shift," as she is shown alone in her home with her own vices. The video depicts Taylor spending time with another version of herself who drinks and parties, showing the two different sides of her as she repeatedly sings "It's me, am the problem." She can be seen downing shots of alcohol, smashing her guitar and going on a raid with the alter ego before reaching all-time low. In another scene from the Anti-Hero video, she referenced her battle with an eating disorder, showing herself stepping onto weighing scales that said fat. As Taylor weighs herself, the second version of herself is seen standing beside her, looking shameful at the weight on the scales. The singer previously admitted she used to just stop eating if she saw a photo of herself where she felt she looked too big or if someone made a cruel comment about her size. Speaking in her 2020 Netflix documentary Miss Americana, she said, "It's not good for me to see pictures of myself every day. It's only happened a few times, and I'm not in any way proud of it. There have been times when I've seen a picture of me where I feel like I looked like my tummy was too big, or someone said that I looked pregnant. And that'll just trigger me to just starve a little bit, just stop eating." While the star told Variety recently that she felt uncomfortable discussing the turbulent relationship she has with food, explaining, "I think I've never really wanted to talk about that before, and I'm pretty uncomfortable talking about it now." Hinting at the many media storms she has suffered since rising to fame, Taylor is shown being shot with an arrow as she sings, "Pierced through the heart but never killed." Midnights is filled with references to Taylor's boyfriend of 6 years Joe Alwyn, with the actor even co-writing the 12th track on the album, dubbed Sweet Nothing. But in Anti-Hero, the references delve deeper into Taylor's fear of losing her partner as she predicts being left alone, singing, "One day you'll watch as you're leaving 'cause you got tired of my scheming, for the last time." while she is seen taking notes from a chalkboard that reads, "Everybody will betray you." And noting her self-confidence issues, Taylor is shown as a giant version of herself crashing into a room of smaller people, suggesting that she feels out of place. While she sings, "I look directly at the sun but never in the mirror," while explaining her issues with confidence and self-loathing. The track comes to a halt at 2 minutes 35 seconds, after Taylor sings, "I have this dream my daughter-in-law kills me for the money, she thinks I left them in the will." With no music, it then plays out a scene of Taylor's funeral, showing 3 conceited children who are furious they have not been left in her will. Actors Mike Birbiglia and John Early portray her grown-up sons in the video, while Mary Elizabeth Ellis takes on the role of her daughter-in-law, as the funeral displays a tribute picture of Taylor alone with just her cats as company. The music resumes after the scene, which ended in chaos as the children fought as Taylor snuck out of her own coffin, with fear all over her face. The video, which was directed by Taylor herself, ends with the 3 different versions of herself drinking wine on a rooftop, finishing "It must be exhausting always rooting for the anti-hero." She previously explained her decision to explore themes of self-hatred, saying on Apple Music, "It's how you're feeling in the middle of the night, and that can be intense self-hatred. You go through these very polarizing emotions when you're up late at night and your brain just spirals. It can spiral downward or it can spiral way up and you can just be really feeling yourself." Referencing her track Karma, she went on, "It's written from a perspective of feeling like really happy, really proud of the way your life is. Feeling like this must be a reward for doing stuff right, and it's a song that I really love because I think we all need some of those moments. You know, we can't just be beating ourselves up all the time. You have to have these moments where you're like, you know what karma is, my boyfriend, and that's it." Many Swifties expressed their love for the album's lead single Anti-Hero and its relatability, with one fan feeling as though Swift looked into my brain while penning the lyrics. Another said that Anti-Hero is the anthem of my life. The exciting thing about a new Taylor Swift album is not only new music but a new personality to annoy all my friends and family with, joked one Twitter user, who was clearly digging Swift's pop resurgence. Along with Anti-Hero, fans voiced their love for the tracks Karma and Sweet Nothing. It comes after Taylor received high praise from fans and critics alike, hours after releasing her highly anticipated album Midnight's early Friday morning. Variety's Chris Williams deemed Midnight's something worth losing sleep over as it's a triumphant return to the 32-year-old singer's pop era steeped in synthesizers and programmed beats. Deemed an evening of celebration, fans of Swift flooded social media with their first impressions as they eagerly worked their way through the album's 13 infectious tracks. Midnight's is more romantic than not, as an album, even withstanding plenty of detours into a witty churlishness or affecting lonesomeness along the way, pens Williams in a review published Friday. It's got to be a sign of something that Midnight's is the first of her 10 albums to both begin. Williams further praises Swift for being able to sustain intimacy over a whole album instead of going down the path most traveled by, chasing hit singles. Billboard's Jason Lipschitz calls Midnight's a focused, legacy-extending new project for Swift, who has been an unstoppable force since bursting onto the music scene in 2006. It was compared to the stylings of Swift's 2017 album Reputation and 2019's Lover, since Midnight's is more sonically amorphous than the mainstream pop of 1989 or the indie folk of Folklore and Evermore. Despite the resemblance, Midnights is more personal and focused project and offers fans another glimpse at the humanity that has made Swift such a beloved storyteller. A dazzling bath of synths complementing lyrics caught between a love story and a revenge plot, describes Brittany Spanos of Rolling Stone. Spanos adds that Midnights is where 1989, Reputation, and Lover left off, but this time she's unlocked something brilliant and fresh in her songwriting. While also leaning into a pop synth sound that all too familiar to Swift, The Guardian's Alexis Petridis reminds listeners that something of folklore and Evermore's understated nature hangs around Midnights. It's an album that steadfastly declines to deal in the kind of neon-hued bangers that pop stars usually return with, music brash enough to cut through the hubbub. The sound is misty, atmospheric and tastefully subdued, he writes. The Los Angeles Times Mikel Wood refers to Swift as a pop music mastermind while calling the album a return to an earlier Swift mode in both sonic and lyrical terms. All of me changed like midnight, Taylor Swift confesses halfway through her latest album, the aptly named and moody Midnights, pens Elise Ryan of the Associated Press. Ryan continued, "It's a moment on the electric midnight train that finds lyricist Swift at her best, reminding you of her unparalleled ability to make any emotion feel universal." Midnights includes 13 songs, all of which are new work from the singer, as well as 3 bonus tracks on varying platforms and editions of the album. The 13 song names are, Lavender Haze, Maroon, Anti-Hero, Snow on the Beach, featuring Lana Del Rey, You're on Your Own, Kid, Midnight Rain, Questions? Vigilante Shit, Bejeweled, Labyrinth, Karma, Sweet Nothing, and Mastermind. Meanwhile, Midnights, Lavender Edition, which is a Target exclusive, features 1 bonus song and 2 remixes, It's Different, You're on Your Own, Kid, Strings Remix, and Sweet Nothing, Piano Remix. Swifties, which is the singer's name for her devout fan base, actually crashed the Spotify moments after the album hit the popular streaming platform. They collectively celebrated the crash as an accomplishment before diving into the album and sharing their first impressions to Twitter. "It's like an out-of-body experience and I'm only on track 1, tweeted one superfan, while another joked that Swift's new music is giving us a reason to live. Many Swifties expressed their love for the album's lead single Anti-Hero and its relatability, with one fan feeling as though Swift looked into my brain while penning the lyrics. Another said that Anti-Hero is the anthem of my life. The exciting thing about a new Taylor Swift album is not only new music but a new personality to annoy all my friends and family with, joked one Twitter user, who was clearly digging Swift's pop resurgence. Along with Anti-Hero, fans voiced their love for the tracks Karma and Sweet Nothing. Anyways, Taylor Swift never fails to release music that feels like it was written deliberately and personally for me, tweeted one Swiftie in regards to the album's intimacy. Though criticism was few and far between, some fans were able to put their biases aside in order to give their honest reviews. One wrote that they were so excited for Swift's collab with singer Lana Del Rey but, unfortunately, it made them cry with disappointment despite loving the album as a whole. They were disappointed that Lana's vocals were not more prevalent throughout the track, but another fan noted that the Blue Jeans hitmaker does in fact sing throughout most of the song. Ahead of Midnight's release, Swift opened up about the album's concept and what inspired the collection of new songs. The concept of the album Midnights is the extreme emotions you might be feeling in the middle of the night, she told SiriusXM Hits 1. What keeps you up at night? And so, it's reflecting back on certain nights of my life of why I was awake in the middle of the night. Swift said the material covers a range of emotions from grief to sadness, to fear, to anger, to flirtation or daydreaming about someone, or falling in love or feeling overconfident. She added, I think it's just a really intense time of day. So, I wanted to cover lots of different aspects of that. Swift said that good dance songs on the album include Karma, Lavender Haze and Vigilante S. Swift told fans that all of the material on the Midnights is new, saying it all new work. She added, nothing is left over from a different album. It might have been, ideas or concepts or things I've thought of maybe making in the past, but I didn't write anything until I was making this album. Swift said it is a fun thing for her to reflect back on past work. That all does usually lead to something, but if we're reflecting back on eras past and music that I've made in the past, I think you'll find that Terry's a really good reason for that, she said. But it doesn't necessarily have to do with this album. Along with the album drop, Swift teased footage from a number of forthcoming music videos for unknown tracks off Midnights. It was aired during Thursday Night Football. One sequence showed Swift transform into a classic showgirl that commanded attention in a dazzling diamond gown.